Welcome to the Packweight Show. Yo, welcome back to the Packweight Show. We're here for episode 2 with our good friends John and Frank, and joining us today is our very good friend Nick. How are you, bro?
Well, thank you, Byron. How are you?
Good to hear. I'm great, thanks. You're joining us from 10 hours in the future on your side of the world?
The future is bright. What can I say?
Good to hear, bro. John, how you been?
Nice, dude. I'm good. Thanks for having me. Thanks for taking us through it again. And yeah, I'm stoked to chat with you, dudes.
Me too. And Frank, how you been, brother?
Yeah, good, man. Put up a swimming pool at home here for my daughter. And yeah, going to take a swim after this.
Awesome. Summer times. Looking forward to those days again. So firstly, I want to shout out to the warm reception we got from our friends and family on YouTube and Facebook where we posted this. And yeah, we're just really grateful to all of you for joining in, and to all of you that have subscribed already to the YouTube channel. Thank you. To anyone who hasn't, please do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. That's the number one thing you can do to help us out with the channel, and throw in a like or a comment. We got an awesome comment from Cliff on Facebook, Clifford Fullion, our good homie from back in the days, who expanded on where the Packweight name came from. So I'm just going to pull that up and read through it here to give credit where it's due. Packweight was coined by an old high school friend of mine, Colin Kruger, who didn't skate at all. However, I don't think it got further than being sprayed on a couple of walls under bridges in Pretoria until I offered it to the fellas during our Randburg days. I want to say that the desire to have a crew name was heavily inspired by, and you guys will remember this well, Alon Sky's Corporation of Rude Perverted Skaters, aka the Corpse. But it was so long ago, we can't remember which came first. I think they were around the same time.
Corpse was first, from what I remember.
Definitely.
Alon was in high school when he coined that.
Exactly. And so Cliff goes on to just say we were drawing that logo everywhere, and memories of the crack flat and Jackson's room and everything. So thanks for that, Cliff. We really appreciate it, and we can't wait to get you on here sometime soon, champ. And to everyone else, to everyone else who commented on YouTube, thanks a lot. Shout outs Neil van der Walt, Anton Freiling, Trevor Lewis, Marlon Aventure, African Eric, Sana, Stephen, Marlon had a couple, DJ, Don H, and Dirk Kutsia. Don H said so many crews, but the Durban crew was invisible. So,
dude, the Durban crew. I didn't mention them, actually. I thought about that afterwards. And Durban had a crew as well. Don Horn, I think.
Yeah, that was Don who commented. And
Mike Hayes.
Mike Hayes, there's a name. So yeah, Don, shout out to the Durban crew, and let us know who else was with you when you guys came up to all the competitions and stuff. And if you have any photos, send them my way, please. So yeah, without any further ado, this is episode 2, Electric Boogaloo. I don't know why I called it that, but we're going to go with that name for now. And up first, Nick, do you want to take us through? What are we seeing here, bro?
Well, I'm going to have to put on my glasses for this one. Sorry.
I keep them on permanently.
Glasses! So, is that Craig Uriah?
That's definitely
I was always fond of his style here. Neat and tidy. Just, yeah, all around really good skater, huh? Really good skater. Last I heard, he was actually an avid mountain biker, doing very, very well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, lost touch with him, but always good at whatever he did. So, yeah.
Shout out to Craig Uriah, and he's pulling quite a nice kind grind here. I reckon this was 97, 98. John, what do you think?
Yeah, I would say that's about right. But this spot, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. Like, this spot was the Santon taxi rank before it was officially launched or whatever. So it was kind of empty the whole time, and they were still building there. So what we would do is go after school or on the weekends or whatever, and we'd build our own sort of things to skate. Like, you can see that concrete gutter there. We used to, pile those on top of each other. And it was basically this like street park that we built there. And it went for like, I don't know, a good year or two where we could go there and skate and not be like kicked out. And we'd like spray a bit of graffiti there. And some of the guys that used to skate there, definitely Craig Uriah, Alon Sky, Graham Diedrichs, Greg Norman. I remember being there at one stage. And I suppose a lot of us from Sandown High School, I know Nick was probably at King David at this time. But yeah, it was a cool gathering place where we wouldn't get kicked out and we could build whatever we wanted, like just make it up as we go along. So it was a sick spot.
Frank, did you guys ever skate here from Rustenburg?
I don't think so, no. I can't remember the spot at all.
This was pretty early.
I think we were still, if it's 97, 98, we were still in school, and only time we really skated Joburg back then was Kailami, or we didn't really do any street in Joburg. Skated a lot of street in Rustenburg because that's all we had, but no.
Yeah, of course, that was before you were driving and it was still relying on parents and stuff to get around.
Exactly.
And I think me and the other Groms were here a couple of times, but largely this was very early because this stuff did turn into the actual taxi rank in Sandton very quickly. And but it sounds like it was a rare time of building. The next photo also is from the same place, and that's Graham Diedrichs. Shout out Graham D. Haven't seen or spoken to you in years, man. We hope you're good. And he's cracking a good old backside UFO on the small curb here. One of Matt's favorite tricks. Yeah, Steezen. We always used to ask Matt to do these UFOs because he was really good at bucking his knee out like that. And I recall the one day at Kailami where we were asking him to do it, and he was like, "I'm not your robot. You can't make me do things."
Graham Dietrich's always had a really sick style, eh? I really dig this style.
I checked him not too long ago in Four Ways at a boxing gym there. I bumped into him, and he's like in the property business now. I think he runs his own property thing, So shout out to Graham Diedrichs.
Yeah, for sure. I remember hanging out with him and Ryan Campbell and Greg Norman, and they had another friend, Peanut. That was his nickname. I can't even recall his actual name, but he was really good friends with Graham D and Greg Norman. And we used to go session Bryanston High School and random stuff because Graham D lived right near Bryanston High School.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I actually wanted to sort of bring it back around, Byron, because I was thinking about it. I have a memory of it, but I'm not sure how accurate it is. But how did our crew join with your crew? Because your crew was kind of like Gaz, Matt, yourself, Ryan Campbell. I'm not too sure who else.
And Justin Butler.
Justin Butler, yes. And I remember the first time that we actually kind of hooked up to skate together was at Sleepy Hollow in Rivonia. And they used to have that massive ledge outside, which we used to roll down, and we tried to grind it a few times, I remember, but I don't think anyone ever succeeded. And then in the back, they had an empty pool. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how we didn't get kicked out. I don't know why the pool was empty, because it was like a functioning business. But I remember we met with you guys there, and we had these these
do-rags.
We weren't on the do-rag era yet, but it was starting because it was a T-shirt sleeve that we had cut. And I think some oaks even had a little bell on the end of it. And it was it was this weird. And I remember you guys had them as well. And it was, it was just cool. It was weird. I think we were a bit, the Groms, but at the same time, we were more dudes to skate with. And these guys seem cool. What's your recollection of how we actually, I don't know, just started skating together?
So I think it took a while. I do remember, as you say, me and Gaza, Matt, Ryan, and Justin were thick as thieves at that point because we were all from the same year, basically, although Matt's a couple of years younger. Ryan and I were in the same classes in Sandown High School, and Gaza and Justin had come up through Rivonia Primary. So maybe you had seen those guys around there. Justin and Ryan lived in Rivonia, and so the rest of us were always coming there to skate with them. And I think being slightly younger in school is always like the older kids are like, nah, I don't want anything to do with them. But we were always at the skate park and hanging around with you guys. I remember arriving at the skate park one day and Graham Jackson's like, yo, it's the homeboy with the fake American accent. Thanks, bro.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me. I'm here. There we go. So
You still got it.
yeah, dude. Now I work with Americans, so it's getting worse. So we paid our dues of being the slightly younger guys at the skate park, not doing quite the same tricks as you guys were. And then I think as that gap started to close, it made much more sense. Like, we all sort of just became friends. Like, as you say, there weren't that many people to skate with. And so it's like, we know they're going to session over there. Like, let's just go skate with them and whatever. And then we all sort of became friends along the way, which is cool. But yeah, it's awesome how all the different groups came together from around those days. And then we sort of coalesced into a bigger crew. Nick, what's your memories of Rivonia and the squads?
Well, I do remember that Ryan lived very close to Sleepy Hollow. So, I mean, it was a hotel and a restaurant, Sleepy Hollow. B, did you... I'm sure you came on the night sessions in Rivonia Boulevard?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a couple here and there, but I think Justin and Ryan would have been there much more regularly. And Gaz, because he lived in Paulshof, I think. Yeah. So he was a bit closer.
That was good. Hey, I mean, we had lots of people come there. I know that you guys kind of touched on it last time, I think. But it was huge. I mean, at one point we were in standard 6, standard 7, and we had other students from like standard 8, standard 9 coming who weren't even skating. Everyone just came there to hang out and watch these crazy guys on rollerblades just, I don't know, go wild in the streets. It was pretty cool. I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of people. That was really enjoyable, actually.
Yeah,
what an interesting time, late 90s, and everyone had rollerblades at some point, right?
I mean,
sorry, John, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. I just didn't want to lose my thought there. This reminds me, I think it's very worthwhile to mention, is Gametronics in Rivonia, and what like a central place that was for us to meet as sort of young kids, where we kind of were safe for our parents to leave us for the day. And it was a gaming store where you could buy like Sega Mega Drives and you could play games in the store. And the guy ran it, Quentin. I think it was Quentin, right? Nick?
Sounds about right. Yeah, I think you're right, John. I'll have to
Yeah,
trust
like
you.
Graham Howard would know these things. Gord Laws would know these things. We used to go there and play like Mortal Kombat and then like go skate afterwards. But it was definitely like a central hub in Rivonia to meet and like start the skate day. You know, that's we play some games, put on our skates, and then like disperse into the streets of Rivonia. And come back at the end of the day. And yeah, it was just such a sick spot. Shout out to Gametronics.
Yeah, and as you say, shout out to Gord. I remember him mentioning Gametronics to me and Mortal Kombat and Rivonia squad sort of skating from there.
For sure.
All right, let's jump onto this one. These three are recognizable. Frankie, what we got going on here?
It's the three of us. D on the right, John in the middle, and me on the left. And I feel like this was in Cape Town or something, wasn't it? At one of the comps in Cape Town?
I think, I'm not too sure, but I think like chronologically, we might be jumping around a little bit. We're trying to keep it as chronological as possible, but it's so hard to remember. So I think a lot of it only comes together when we sit and chat about each photo and then we're like, oh, that's from this time, or, you know. So I would say this is probably a little bit out of school, maybe first year out of school, or what do you guys think?
Yeah.
In school?
This does make me think 2000 or 2001. Just judging from my clothes and my watch, I seem
Exactly
to
that.
recall those
Judging from
then,
clothing and also
Yeah.
Frank, it feels like Frank was, I think Frank, we only met around 15, 16 maybe. Hey, Frank?
Yeah.
And this seems
Kalami.
like we're a bit older here. You know,
Yeah.
we went through that in the first episode.
But we did,
Yeah.
didn't we travel? No, I was already leaving school, I think, when we started traveling to Cape Town every year and stuff.
Yeah, that was, I think the first time was 2000, from what I remember. Going because we went down in Nick's car, actually, with Bundy, myself, I don't know who else was in the back of the car, maybe Toby. And that was 2000. We had just finished school.
That was 99.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
99, 2000. Yes, sorry.
Look, we definitely got a lot of sun here. So Cape Town's
We're definitely outside all day skating.
Yeah,
by the looks of it.
Cape Town summer sounds right. And I do know that Megan, her previous surname was De Beer, took this photo and shared it with us on Facebook. And she was Gaz's girlfriend before he had passed. And so certainly before, around 2000-ish. And so shout out to Megs. It's been a number of years since we've spoken to you, but hope you're good. All right. This is a good one, though. I dig this photo.
That's great.
Oh, epic. All right. Nick, you want to take us through what we're seeing here?
Oh, I've always been a massive fan of Graham Jackson's style, bro. I just, he's great. I feel like in terms of rollerblading, he really pushed the limit in a lot of ways. I feel like he could have pushed himself more. He probably retired a bit early. Went into bigger and brighter things. I
think he pushed himself more mentally after the rollerblading days.
Yeah, but hey, man, I could never get enough of his skating, dude.
Such a sick style. And for anyone listening, we're looking at a scan of the poster of the Red Bull South African Aggressive Skating Champs, 99. And the venue was the Kailami Roses Skate Park. Shout out to Mel and Brent. I remember this being an epic competition, huge cash prizes. Don't recall what they were, but inflation adjusted, I'm sure it was a pretty penny. Any thoughts, Frank?
Jeez, bro. I think the first comp I ever skated at Kailami, I came dead last in beginners. Because I was a street skater and I hadn't really skated much park. I could grind all the rails, but the ramps was too much for me. And also, obviously, when you're skating a comp, you get nervous and the pressure gets a lot, and then you end up messing up more than you should. But yeah, it actually just motivated me to skate more. And these comps were all epic.
Oh, for sure. And skating a competition run, like a whole minute of skating, doesn't sound like a lot, but when it's just you in the course and you're trying to do your best tricks, the most exhausting thing basically you could probably do.
And I think this comp that I'm talking about was in 1996, so after the 1995 Sun City comp that we spoke about last time.
I think you touched on it last time.
Yeah. But this is obviously a couple of years later. The 1990s. The picture of me doing the bio over, I think, was 97.
That sounds right. And then
that comp, I came third, and then we went to Germany. We came here to Germany to skate the German Nationals, and we skated another comp, a NIS, I think it was. One of the stops were in Nuremberg, one of the NIS stops, and then I injured myself. But the year after that, we went in 98. Again,
Port Elizabeth.
After the South African champs, 98, we went to Lausanne, Switzerland. Then me, Garrett, Craig Uriah, because he won it. Herman was there. Who else was there? Cliff was
Wasn't
there.
Craig?
Toby
Craig?
went to Lucerne.
No, he went the year before, I think.
Oh, was it?
I think he went.
Wasn't Schmedel there?
Schmidl was there. Yeah, he did vert.
Yeah.
He did actually pretty well in vert.
Dude, he was so good, bro. He was really like a proper
Him
vert
and
skater.
Herman, bro. Herman also killed the vert, and Herman killed the mini ramp comp. Yo, he also did really well there. Yeah, that was a crazy time.
Was that an all expenses paid thing? Or,
Well,
I mean, obviously you would have had to take
I think for
spending money.
Schmedel and Uriah it was paid, but Garrett and I had our parents paid for our flights and accommodation. So, yeah. But they did invite us. They said you're more than welcome to come because I think they invited the top 3.
Mm.
And I think Garrett came 4th. And then they said he could come too if he pays. And yeah, so on 98, we went to Lausanne. Me and Garrett traveled together, and then we met with Mal and everyone else there.
Mark Highland, I think, was there as well.
He was
that year?
He was in the year before. Mark Island came in 97 to Germany. Yeah, we went to Munich first, then we went to Nuremberg after that. Munich was the nationals, and Nuremberg was a nest stop. And then we skated.
I just wanted to ask you, those comps were like, I mean, everyone, the top pros from all over the world were at those comps, all from Europe, all from the States. You guys were skating against the best at the time.
The nationals was mainly Germany. So it was the German nationals, but we skated against them in their own. And then there was the NIS comp had more other pros, like John Bergeron was there, Rawlinson Rivera, and like a whole lot of other people, and a lot of Europe's best skaters, like in Lausanne. There's so many in Lausanne, like can't even mention. Bruno Lowe was there, like he was, I think, the best German skater, and he was sponsored by England. There was I can't even remember how many other people. Josh Petty was there, like lots of pros, Julio, Angie Walton. We went and shot a piece with Daily Bread.
Wow.
And some street stuff. And it was hectic, bro. Like it was really an epic time. And so the cool thing about this whole comp is they close off all the roads, and this city's built on a hill. And it's the windy hill that goes up to the top of the hill, and everyone missioned up, and it would all start there. And then you would bomb this hill, and it's hectic, bro. And there's like thousands of people bombing this hill with like these whistles. I don't know if you guys ever remember it.
I've seen some of the footage. It looks crazy. Like the whole town would shut down for this.
Yeah. And there was even people on rollerblades, but on stilts. It was absolutely crazy, bro. And they like 2.5 meters tall, like coming down this hill. And people would dress up like it's Halloween as well. Like people, this guy with this big dummy and a diaper coming down the hill.
Him specifically.
Yeah, well, when I think about stuff,
he sticks out the most.
What did the other guys wear, Frank? Now we know what you wore. What the other
like, dude, it was crazy, bro. Like seriously, like, and there was a lot of pros as well. So, me as a kid growing up in South Africa and getting into an environment where there's all these pros like that, you just stand there in awe the whole time because it's just crazy. And then there's all these sessions in the daytime popping up everywhere, people grinding rails, curbs everywhere, and it's like huge, bro. And no one gets kicked out. It's like, cool. This is what's happening here for this week. And the citizens and the people that live there, they know about this and they're cool with it. There's no cops. chasing people away, and it's just like cool. You just have a party, like, and skate, and
That's such a sick vibe. Yo, I'd be interested to find out if it's still going on there.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
It's not anymore, but
rollerblading's dead.
I think it
Been dead for years, bro.
I think it was because of rollerblading going underground, like, and dying. It's not seen in the mainstream anymore because of it being taken out of the X Games. But yeah, dude, back then there was comps like this all over the world, really. And this one in Lausanne was like the World Championships at the time. I think it was called that. So everyone from all over the world flocked there and came together and skated this comp. And the comps weren't easy, man. The ramps were huge. And the floor wasn't great. It was like a tar floor, and it wasn't like super smooth. It was like quite rough. So you had to have like big ass wheels, and my setup was street, and I had tiny wheels, so I couldn't even drop in, and you skate your heart out, and you can't even launch the box because it's too slow. You're too slow. But yeah, it was insane. The skating that went down was insane.
Yeah.
I remember seeing like Daily Bread doing excerpts on it, like seeing all the photos, and yeah, I mean, I didn't get to go, but to see and know that you guys were there 2 years in a row, like our best guys were there, whether they showed them or not. It was rare that we had that sort of experience and exposure.
We actually did get into the Daily Bread, and there was a feature on us.
Really, eh?
Yeah, but
I must look for that.
I think it was in Daily Bread 26.
I've got all of them, bro. All those
Really?
old ones. Like, yeah, I've still got
Do you?
Issue 26.
That's
There's a
epic.
picture of me doing a back farf on this bench that has a coping on the top. It's a small picture. It's like tiny. It wasn't like a big feature.
That's
But,
amazing, though, dude. To get
they
into
said-
Daily Bread, like,
They wrote the
any
South
stage.
African champion Craig Uriah with a picture of me.
I remember that now.
Actually, yeah.
It was crazy.
Almost.
I actually did this big ass kink trail. Like, it was a kink, like a proper kink. It wasn't that big, but after a whole day of skating and a comp and everything, we did this like thing with Daily Bread, and so I got that picture on the bench, and then I did a topsoil on this kink, and the one I landed, the photographer messed up, so he's like, do it again, and I tried 10 more times, and the ones I like slipped over and slid down and like winded myself on the kink.
Oof.
And I think I might have damaged some ribs. And I was like, nah, I can't. It's not going to happen. I can keep going, but I don't.
I'm spent.
Like, my body is so like out of it now. I can't do it. So that picture of me doing the kink, and I probably did it about 20 times, that kink trail, if not more. And I landed it like twice because it wasn't easy. There was like a curb right next to it, and it was coming out of the wall. So you had to like, if you didn't hit the kink, you would slip onto the ledge basically and slide down. It was quite steep. So yeah.
So I think that must have been summer in the Northern Hemisphere, 98, because I remember at the end of 98, we actually all went to Port Elizabeth, and that was that year's South African championships down in Port Elizabeth. Windy City. So shout out to Myron Mance, originally from there. Who were the other guys originally from Port Elizabeth? Yeah, that's when we first met them. Graham Jackson knocked out his front tooth.
Yeah.
He had dreads at the time.
Yeah, I remember that.
There's still that. We stayed at the Caboose.
The
Yeah, I
Caboose.
wanted to say the caboose.
Oh, I missed this one, eh?
Yeah, you did miss some.
But
And
there was that.
the aquarium rail, like just across the road from there. It's as long as super low, cool rail. It was so sick.
Who was that really tall dude who would do like flips out of the bowl?
Wambach. Brett
No.
Wambach.
No, there was
Yeah.
another guy. Wasn't
Wayne
there another
Iverson.
dude? Wayne Iverson. Thank you. Thank you, bro.
Yes.
That
He's quite a bit
dude
older
was-
than us, I remember.
He was,
He
yeah.
was-
But you can't mention PE and not mention Wayne Iverson. So wherever he is these days.
Jesse Sharkey as well, I recall.
Was he a PE native?
Port Elizabeth
Okay.
originally, I think. I may be wrong. But shout out to all those guys. So yeah, that brings us back to
All of that
this
from
comp
this one poster. Huh?
in
I just-
'99. Yeah.
I
Can I just
wanted to
quickly add something
yeah,
here?
Please do, Nick.
We might be wanting
Please
to say
do.
the
Might
same
be adding
thing.
the same thing, yeah.
Okay, so I just feel it must be said that Brent and Mel put in so much effort. It was like really none of this would have happened if it wasn't for the effort and the focus of Melody and Brent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
So,
only
yeah,
just
it's a big-
them putting up this park, but also hosting all these camps, bringing
Everything, dude,
Rosies into
everything.
South Africa.
Finding
They
sponsors and everything.
Dude.
Everything they did, man. It was amazing. So, a big thank you to Mel and Brent. I don't know if they'll watch
Absolutely.
this, but big thank you.
Mel actually did watch the last one.
Oh, awesome. We need to get her on one of
Yeah.
these days, but I think that would be more awesome to do in person somehow if we could sit down with her and just chat in person
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
film that. That'd be cool. But yeah, big shout out to Mel and Brent. Big love. You guys were our other parents growing up in our teenage years, looking
Yeah.
out for us. I mean, I know we were naughty, so thank you for putting up with us. But yeah, I
Keeping
mean,
us
Shit we
alive.
got up to, geez, like
yeah, bringing skates into the country, building skate parks, running events, putting on
running
shows.
the team.
Investing in rollerblading when no one else did. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And us. We wouldn't
Yeah.
be. We wouldn't have
Investing in us,
experienced
yeah.
any of this if Mel and Brent hadn't been the people with the bit of vision and the ones doing the work. We weren't doing any of the organizing. We were just skating, and they allowed us to do that. You know what I mean? We didn't have to worry about any of that stuff.
Oh, dude. Well,
And what I was going to add, it wasn't that. So thanks for adding that, Nick. That's super important. But these comps, for anyone who doesn't know or doesn't remember, they used to happen in winter in Joburg. So it was always super cold, and there'd be sort of two big events a year, from what I remember. It would be this one mid-year, and then the end of the year one. I'm not sure how it worked with rankings and all that. I don't even know if people kept track of a sort of national ranking, but I know these events did apparently sort of, place you on that ranking somewhere. And yeah, it'd be as if a 3-day event at Kalami, and I know how excited we'd all get for that, and we knew we'd be doing a lot of skating and seeing all of our friends and spending 3 days just doing what we love at the skate park. And it was always epic. Like, I don't remember ever not having an amazing event, an amazing time. Yeah.
No, it was so sick, especially with like the music and the DJing. Shout out to DJ Switch, Morgan van Staden, Vuyo, the other homies, everyone who DJ'd, and like it was such a vibe with the music. Reddy D, all the homies and the B-boys, and just those comps, as John says, was such epic skating and fun times and vibes. And then like we would do the prelims on a Friday or Saturday and have some sort of party there at Kalami on that night and just get absolutely wrecked. I remember having the worst hangover the next day for the competition, just destroyed.
Like true athletes.
Olympians.
Drinking going on there. 1999.
And what was the dude? Larry's place behind you. Remember, like they'd have some of the parties like in.
Wasn't it like a tennis club there before? So it was like the clubhouse or something.
He was a weird dude, huh?
Shout out to Larry's Tennis Club. And I remember going inside to his little bar to get like a toasted cheese sandwich when we had a long day at the skate park. Pay him 10 Rand or 15 Rand for a toasted salmi. All right, what do we got next? Here's another competition poster for 2001. which was also at Kailami Skate Park. And this time we got Herman's Topsoul. I think it's Herman.
I think that's Garrett, actually.
No, this
Although
looks more like
it's left
Cliff.
With the
Right?
left foot. Yeah, it's Clifford, I think.
Cliff.
Yeah, you think you're right. Clifford or Clifford.
It could be Herman. Herman's top soles kind of look like that. But Cliff, I don't know.
I feel like
Wow.
that's Clifford. Yeah.
Did we have an ASA sponsor? Or was this part of the ASA circuit?
I think so. It became part
Must
of the
have been
circuit.
affiliated.
At the time, yeah.
That's PlayStation. And then I see that last logo there is Fishbrain, which I think is very
Sebastian.
worth
Fitting,
mentioning as well. I don't know if you want to chat about Fishbrain a bit, Byron, and what it's.
Sure, yeah. Shout out to Sebastian. At the time, he was running a website called fishbrain.co.za, which was like a forum software, and it was just, for the rollerbladers to make forum posts and comments and chat to each other. And obviously, this was a long time before social media, so forums on the internet were still quite a big thing. And this was the local one for South African rollerbladers, basically, where we all congregated. And I remember that's where, before we had really met and got to know the Cape Town guys, there was sort of an online beef going on with we were the team Rosies, and they were like, no, Rosies are shit, and we dig razors and whatever. So shout out to Mac Larry, and because I remember arguing with him on the forums, internet trolls, let's go.
Like every good forum.
Yeah, and so shout out to Sebastian for keeping that running for so long, because I remember a lot of cool pictures and posts and stuff getting put on there. Now, speaking about this competition in 2001, I distinctly remember that year because I'd started to get a bit better at rollerblading, and this was the comp where I broke my finger on the fun box. So I had my skate run, and then exactly that.
Hospital, please.
Try to do the rail at the end of my run. So it was my very last trick, and my legs were just jello, gave out, and I somehow landed on my finger and took one look at it like this, and it was skew like that. And I was like, oh, fuck. And luckily my dad was there, and I literally walked out of the skate park into my dad's car to the hospital and had surgery on my hand, and they put a pin in my knuckle and shit. So distinct memory there. I still remember.
That was the last time you ever picked your nose.
With that,
I wish that were true, Nicholas.
I remember weren't you trying to do like a disaster to
No, it wasn't even that. It was a normal jump onto the rail. Like I remember maybe for the best trick competition I was trying that, but that's not when I broke my finger. It was just tired at the end of the run, fell, landed badly ish. So I had a big old fucking thing on my hand and my arm for 6 weeks, and I was still driving to varsity every day, switching gears with the right hand across the lap, and it was a fucking time.
I remember that, B. You really went from you like improved so drastically, dude.
Yeah,
like it was really, dude. Like your roller
very noticeable.
level, man. Next level, bro. Like you definitely left me in the dust. I'm not sure how the other guys feel, but
no, I think I got onto the same level, and I want to give a shout out to Kung Fu, actually, Shaolin Martial Arts Center, because at the time I just started doing Kung Fu like a year or two before, and it finally got some spring into my quads, and I was able to jump onto rails a bit better and stuff. So I feel like that really helped me get a bit stronger and a bit better at skating. And shout out to Sifu Frank. Got to get back to one of these days. One day I'll take my kids to Kung Fu, and then the cycle will be completed.
Definitely. It helped me too. I remember John and I did Kung Fu together for about a year at the same martial arts Kung Fu school.
Yeah.
And then I stood in front of Sifu and I said, sorry, Sifu, got a rollerblade. There's no way I can carry on Kung Fu. It's one or the other. But it helped. A year worth of Kung Fu definitely made a difference. Definitely.
And that was sort of influence from Stephen Bundred and Grant Lewis and other guys that we were friends with that, were really good at Kung Fu. And I think the two go so well hand in hand. I just remember being very injured from skating and arriving at those kung fu sessions, and I couldn't even do a push-up because my wrists were so my wrists were so wrecked, and you had to do like knuckle push-ups only, and like the two were great for each other as long as you didn't wreck yourself too badly skating, then you could work the other side. But kung fu was very good for all of us, I think.
It was awesome.
Had to stop.
Yeah, couldn't do anything good for us for long.
Still with wrist problems. I still can't do a proper push-up without pain.
Really? Sorry, Nick.
Oh yeah.
And shout out to Ryan Campbell. I remember he was the first. He was the first of my friends doing kung fu, and that sort of inspired us. So Campbell started first, and then me and Gaz and Matt got involved as well, and started then. Also, The Matrix had just come out, and that was a huge inspiration for wanting to do kung fu.
and I think like Wu-Tang and Shaolin, and it was just that time of exactly that kung fu influence, martial arts.
Shout out Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang is forever.
I'm sure they're watching.
And so, speaking of Kailami, here's a couple of pictures of Kailami in what I would say was almost its prime form, where the skate park had, besides the big vert ramp, which sort of went unused by most of us, I think the rest of the park had evolved into having probably the best equipment out of any skate park at the time, or that I can recall. Just like amazing smooth quarter pipes and railings and jump boxes and everything.
I think that's Brent's engineering and Brent's workmanship on the ramps was untouched by anyone else in the country, I believe. Even still to this day, I think. I've skated a lot of the parks these days, and the ramps are not as well built as the way Brent used to do them.
Yeah.
There's another shot, slightly to the right.
And all these ramps were portable too. He made them so that they were portable. So you could
you used to travel around with a lot of them, huh?
It just had the best sort of radius and curvature to the quarter pipes, and the best ratio of the coping size to how much it stuck out, and it was a real precision piece of engineering, and they were just amazingly fun ramps to skate. And you can see the curb boxes and the railings and the triple hip over there with the graffiti wall. Yeah.
Remember, he also had help from Solomon.
I was gonna say Solomon. Yeah.
Shout out to Sully.
Yeah. Shout out to
good friend to us as well over the years. Very good. I mean, we drove him crazy, but
John,
he took good care of us. Much love to him.
Yeah,
much love, Sully.
Great dude.
Absolute legend of a man. He used to call Matt Madala Mbujana, which means little old man. And fun fact about Sully, he could speak all 11 national languages of South Africa.
No ways, really?
Yep.
Wow. Because he was
Smart
Zulu,
man.
I believe.
I don't recall his actual ethnicity, but I know he knew all of the national languages.
He was great.
Wow.
Solomon was just great.
Such a legend. He was
of Kailami. Like he was the doorway you had to pass through to get into Kailami. There was no getting in there without speaking with Solomon first.
He knew everything.
Yeah, totally.
And he used to give us shit about smoking down by the river and all the naughty shit we got up to. Absolute legend.
A lot of gray hairs.
I'm guessing he's still working with Brent, so we really gotta have a chat with all of them and let them know we miss them and love them. What a time of our lives. So there's a more central shot of the same skate park. You can see a bunch of people sitting on the box and a couple of skateboarders hanging out as well. Oh man, this park was my ultimate. It was just
It's beautiful.
what a vibe.
It was beautiful. I remember when they painted it blue. It was probably quite a bit
Yeah.
after there. And
Yeah.
we'd go and, well, we would all have a blaze and then roll back into this blue wavy, like heaven. It was honestly, it was like the ocean on land.
Yeah.
It was just
Sunset session.
amazing
Sunset
experience. It was
sessions there,
such an
man.
amazing
That
experience.
was,
Yeah.
yes, that
The
stays
best.
with you forever.
Oh,
And
gorgeous.
that huge quarter pipe in the back there, bro. Oh, what a beaut. There's no parks like that anymore.
No
Like,
ways.
seriously, it's sad, but
Like mostly sort of concrete parks now, and they're all like really small kind of stuff, and really the radius of the quarter pipes and stuff are just shockingly bad. Like YBF is quite fun to go skate. It's got, it's small and everything is like square corners, but it's got a small mini ramp, and it's just like the sharpest, harshest transitions. It's rough.
hectic. Yeah, I know.
I
that
would say,
park.
like these days, maybe Chris van der Merwe, his park is designed with rollerblading in mind and has a really nice quarter on the one side. It's straight and then kinks down, about that same length, but just not as
Sweet.
high, and then straight with the kink in the middle.
But then he has on the
Really
other
cool.
side a similar height and
True. Yes, yeah, you're right, actually. So he's kind of still making stuff like that, but I don't know anyone else. Yeah.
Well, that's so awesome. Shout out to Chris van der Merwe. It's been, I've never been to his skate park. I would love to check that out sometime.
Super cool.
Go there with your
super nice park.
I2B in Somerset West.
Yeah.
Very cool spot.
Dope. All right. One more competition poster for the year 2000. And this was, I think 99 was probably at Cape Town. Oh no, was this that one?
99. Yeah.
This
It was
was
Cape Town as well. 99 was Cape Town.
99 was Cape Town.
Was it Ratanga Junction? Was that?
Yeah.
That sounds
was
right.
that later?
no
Tango
No,
Junction, there was
before.
some sort of a demo or something going on there in 99.
Okay.
No, we did like a whole comp there. The comp
Yes,
was held
remember,
there before
that's
when
the
we
one-
moved to Canal Walk.
'Cause
When
there was-
Aaron Feinberg was here.
Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes, but I don't know if that was 99. It might have been after.
I think that was 99. It was Aaron Feinberg, Shane Scour, and the skate park was on a tarmac. It was like in the parking
It's
lot.
in the parking lot, yeah.
And it was
Nick,
so
you're
hot.
right.
It was
You
melting.
know-
You guys collided.
I was gonna say, we have good reason not to remember this because you and I hit heads from opposite ends of the skate park at full speed, and we're almost unconscious on our opening trick.
Don and I were always like, we could be great together. We could be great together. And it would never, ever, ever work out. Ever.
No, unfortunately not, Nick. But there's still time.
Who knows, man?
So this was the following year. That was the first Cape Town Alex Cup,
Okay.
I think. And then the year 2000, it moved to Century City with the skate park on the roof, I think.
And I
So
think-
that was
Yes, and I think this is when it was called the Alex Cup. This is
I
when they
believe
started
so.
calling it the
Yeah.
Alex Cup. Before it was
Sounds
called
right.
something Rutanga Junction Comp or something like that.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of when it blew up. They incorporated the B-boys, the graph riders, obviously multidiscipline then. We included BMXers, skateboarders.
Yeah.
It was the perfect venue, really, with the graffiti being on those walls around. Like, it just housed everything so well for what the event was and what it became. But I mean, the footage from this, there's some in African Link. Maybe we can chat about that at a later episode. But I feel like this is when it really started like popping. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I agree.
This
This was the prime. This was the prime time of competition, like rollerblading competition in South Africa, because everyone from Joburg and Durban who would go down to Cape Town and skate with all the guys there, and so it was really the pinnacle of like the skate competitions in the country. That that was when we actually had some sponsorships, and it really was a thing to look forward to every year.
And I think sort of for us as rollerbladers, it was the first competition that focused on us. It was a rollerblading competition that we allowed other guys to be a part of as well. It was initially just a rollerblading thing. And I think in a lot of ways that worked for us and against us, because when the Alex Grohl stopped, all those other disciplines, all those other sports still had their kind of circuits, their competitions to fall back into. Whereas when it stopped for us, there was nothing else going on other than Chris van der Merwe. He was running his comps, but other than that, there was nothing going on for people to fall back into. And it's unfortunate that it went down the way that it did, But anyway, just thought I'd add that.
If I can say, John, I think what this shows me is that the momentum was with rollerblading. So, it was a big... Rollerblading, in my eyes, helped grow like the alternate and extreme sport and lifestyle and all of that, So they, in a way, they had to jump on it.
Well, it certainly did for X Games. Yeah, and it certainly did for X Games overseas. I mean, the first X Games was kind of riding on the back of rollerblading and the popularity of rollerblading at the time. But yeah, I always think that like we should have had something that was just ours, that a circuit like we did with the Nationals, and or I suppose the Nationals I think became multidiscipline as well, which was great for those guys, but they still had their just skateboarding circuit, they had their just BMX circuit, whereas ours was only shared. You know what I mean? We didn't have our own to keep things going.
Yeah, but that's I feel is our own fault. We should have done that.
For sure.
Should have taken it over, yeah.
And I mean, I think to a degree we did, with certain
with the
things.
Keep It Roll for Gaz.
Yeah, and we used to run a lot of events like pop-up street contests and all sorts of things we tried to, but I think it just never got to that level. I think Chris van der Merwe, because his first comp was in like 2006 or 2007 when it was Sunskate Nationals, and he kind of did it the best. But again, it was multidiscipline actually. There was never anything just rollerblading.
Because with that Sunskate, that originally was skateboarding.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That whole community started off as a skateboarding community. And then, So basically what happened was the guy that was running it wanted to retire basically. And he looked for someone to replace it with. And the only person he found was Chris. And Chris was a rollerblader, but it was originally just a skateboarding thing. And then Chris made it this multi-cultural thing, I think.
Yeah.
So he grew it up as well.
If I remember correctly, but obviously Chris would be able to shed more light on it. But from what I can remember that was what the case was. It was called Sun Skate, as in skateboarding.
I remember that, yeah.
And so I think Chris actually brought rollerblading into that, but in saying that, he was the only one that were focusing on building skate parks like the one he has now. He had this other one that was in the shed in Stellenbosch. It's called the Shed. It was in the Shed.
We went there for those competitions. Yeah,
exactly. And he was the one hosting all of those and running them. And he did actually also a great job at running those comps.
Absolutely.
I just feel like in Joburg there wasn't anything really happening because we didn't do anything apart from Keep It Roll and the comps we held, street comps we held. Yeah.
Well, I think as far as skate parks went, they had started to shut down. Kalami had shut down, and there was Monty, and I remember there was a competition there that Melon Brands had put on as well, but that also didn't last too long there, and so there was kind of a a lack of skate parks at the time, and we did do some of the street comp skating stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's my recollection.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard when the popularity of a sport or an activity starts to wane.
Yeah.
You know, what
I
are you
actually-
going to do? Hold a competition for like 5 dudes, you know, and no one's going to
I actually
watch.
did that.
Yeah.
We did this little pop a trick comp. I called it these so POT comps. That's what I called it.
Pot.
Pop a trick. Yeah, like pot. Pop a trick.
Okay.
So PAT.
Pote.
Cat.
What?
Pat. I think it was PAT. Pop a trick.
No, like boat, but pote.
I think have another one, John. Have another
Anyway,
cat.
so at Monte Casino, I would get all the PTA guys, the Pretoria guys, and whoever wanted to come along, and we'd have these small little pop a trick comps where, you know, you play a game of pop a trick just to get you out of your comfort zone and to do tricks that you don't normally do, you know.
Learn some new tricks. Yeah, shout out to Hugo and Neil van der Walt, Pretoria crew. They must have been around at that stage.
And Deerwald.
Deerwald, of course.
Yeah. And then there was some guys from Cape Town moved up. Steve-O, he came up with how can I forget his name now?
Who's Steve Crick and his brothers?
No,
Ben and Pete?
It's another guy, Stephen Kerr, and oh damn, I forgot his name. No, I feel so terrible. But anyway,
I'll remember later.
They came up and moved to Joburg actually, and we started skating. I started skating with them a bit more. We skated at the Boogaloos at the waterfront and Monty's, a couple of Monty's. What other comps were? I mean, parks were still, and then YBF opened up. But
I mean, there was Thrashers as well.
Yeah, well,
was pretty cool.
I think it's still around actually.
It is, and we did have a comp there. There was obviously just quite a trek out that way.
Yeah,
but still going strong and quite a sick skate park. Here we've got probably the best picture of the bunch of us, I would say, all together. Mm-hmm. And I think this must have been the year 2000 when we all went down together on the train to Cape Town.
Yeah. Well, it was good
2000,
fun.
2001, around one of those two, yeah. Yo, what a great time.
We've got Nick on the left, Vuyo,
and I mean,
John.
Let's just say Mel and Brent arranged all of this for us as well. Like, we had to go down to the competition. We didn't know how we were going to get there, and they put us all on the train, which I think in hindsight, they probably regretted. But it was a party.
We definitely didn't regret it.
Yeah,
but we could have very easily regretted it. The ship that we came up with. I mean, it was almost a 2-day train ride.
I was going to say that. It was like 27 hours, 28 hours on the train.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so I think you're right, John.
On the train.
So blazed. This must have been 2001 because Gaza wasn't with us here. And so it was the end of the year. Gaz had already passed in 2001 because I recall he did come with us the previous year on the train down to Cape Town. And at that stage, he got so hammered, he had gone to the back of the train and he had found who he had called his Black Jesus. He was drinking with the homie in the back of the train. And him and Jackson had been, I don't know why they were like daring each other to do shit. But Jackson put out a cigarette on his tongue and Gaza did the same thing. And then Gaza climbed out the window of the train and into the other window. And Jackson was like, no, I won't do that.
Okay. I remember him doing that.
Out-jackaled the jackal.
Yeah.
Woo.
And then completely passed out, vommed on himself. Me and Morgan van Staden had to like change gas, pull up his pants, like put him to bed in the train room.
And how old was he there? How old was this?
Must have been 17, bro. Yeah, for sure. Legendary. So
I think
Garrett had dreads.
and in this picture, I think we already lived in the crack flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this was crack flat days.
So 2001.
Because Garrett had his dreads then when we
Yeah.
lived there. So yeah.
There's Herman and Matt and Cliff, Frank and I at the bottom. This is an epic photo. It's one of my favorite photos.
Oh, so much excitement. That was before we got on the train. Huh? So much
Spent
excitement.
28 hours.
Still fresh.
I'll
28 hours later, after like 20 hot boxes in the cabin.
so cooked. There's
There's the cabin. Dude,
It was like,
I was gonna say, like, if you wanted some peace and rest, you were screwed. On any of these trips, if you actually wanted to get some rest and just have some peace and quiet, you're not, like, you're in hell. You're in hell for 27 hours. Yeah, I think Herman was experiencing hell at this point. He had had enough. He just wanted to sleep.
Oh, he was probably like 10 blazes down, in an hour.
Some beers.
it's probably just before we arrived. Everyone must have been finished by then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. So it was like 4 bunk beds to a cabin, I believe. Like,
Yeah.
they
Flop down.
fold up. Yeah, fold up and down.
Certainly wasn't first class.
No.
Economy.
Yeah, we were in the middle. I think we're in the
Dude,
middle.
I don't think these trains even had first class.
I don't think so
Yeah.
either.
I think we went through the entire train, bro, and there was everything was the same.
Remember they had the dining cart. It was quite fun to go have like dinner there and just be on that moving train. Like you're doing all
So
these
nice.
things, but this thing's
So
moving.
nice.
So much fun. Yeah. Oh,
Dude, so much better than a bus. After the
Yeah,
PE
way
comp,
better.
Gaza and I caught a bus back from Port Elizabeth, and it was just the worst. It was
That's
so
also
hot,
like, what,
dying,
20,
just
22
squished.
hours.
Yeah, the train is way better
Yeah.
by far.
It's a bit longer, the drive or the ride, but it's way better because you can stand
more
up, you
worth
can go to
it,
the
dude.
loo, you can
Exactly.
sit down, you can eat a meal on a table, you can sleep if you want to.
You can sleep properly, yeah.
If
All
your
right,
friends
so here
let
we've
you.
got we've got the skate park at Century City, where one of the Alex Scroll Cups was held at the end of one of those years. It's much harder to figure out which year this was. I think this was very closer to 2004. But yeah, painted red and orange, and yeah, this was a sick skate park as well.
absolutely.
Probably about as close to Kalami vibes as you can get.
Yeah.
I would assume Brent had a hand in this.
Oh yeah,
He built the whole thing.
yeah.
There you go.
Because it was a Boogaloo's park. They had a shop inside, remember?
Brent had those ramps down there from the Retanga Junction comp,
Yes.
and
Frank, you're right.
they wanted to build a skate park, Boogaloo's, and Brent was like, cool, I've got ramps, I can set it up for you guys. And then he initially built the park and then upgraded it a lot. I think
So sick.
obviously
This
the
was-
quarter pipes, the speed ramps, the fun box, this whole hip box thing is all Brent.
Yeah, this was a really fun park to skate, actually.
I think
Good
the
for
right
crowds
side of
as
it
well.
was more just the Boogaloo side, but everything from the little tiny boxes here on the right to the left is all Brent. I don't know. We'll have to speak to Brent, but that's what I think.
I don't know how we allowed that Blunt magazine sponsorship in the background there. I see those banners. I'm like, burn that shit.
They probably just snuck it up there, dude.
Those dudes are so full of shit. I've still got cunt magazine stickers, like a whole roll of them. Yeah.
Is that magazine still going, Blunt?
I think they're trying to revive themselves maybe as an online thing. I'm not too sure. I have zero interest in,
Do any magazines still survive in this day and age?
probably.
Not many. Not many.
Yeah, there's no. I don't know. People get their information through other channels these days.
Yeah, with social media, I mean, I don't know what
Social
you need
media,
a magazine
podcasts.
Yeah.
Well, there is no need for magazines anymore. I mean,
Podcast got to be the
I'm
last
sure there's a
resort, though.
need for it.
Look, maybe if you're lying in the hospital, maybe you need a magazine. Otherwise, that shit is
Well-
old tech, baby.
why? You have your phone,
You're
bro.
not it, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's coming
Fuck the
back.
Blunt magazine. It's gonna make a comeback.
Just like rollerblading.
Sun City.
Boom! Epic picture here. Going back a little bit, I think this was 2000, probably. Sun City
So
rollerblading
nice as well.
demo. Cliff.
What was it called? The Summer Fest. I think it was.
Is that what it was?
I think this was
No.
the first. This was the first time that we actually incorporated b-boying on the ramp. I remember the guys from Rustenburg came through, and I think it was like Andre and a couple of the guys that got on the box and
That's
started
right.
b-boying, and then we were like, "Yeah, cool, let's go over them."
And
that's
Christian,
how that
yeah, Andre and
started.
Christian, and
That was so cool.
Yes, and I mean they kind of made us superstars here by the way we were treated, and like it was like the show is starting, and we had remember all those Hawaiian shirts we had to. But I don't know. I think like we felt like rock stars here. We had those
Look at that
passes
picture.
to get as many drinks as we wanted, lounging in the pool. We just had to skate 1 or 2 shows a day. I don't even remember what the schedule was, but.
I think there was
Was it?
Yo TV came around and also did like a segment on us doing this.
Wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised.
They did.
There's a
I
bit of
remember that.
footage in African Link from this as well. But yeah, I mean, Cliff and Herman were the real rock stars. We were just supporting acts, magician's assistant.
Huge flat spins, and Cliff and Herm must have been sponsored by Red Bull at this stage because they got the Red
Yes.
Bull
Yes.
helmets and Red
Yeah.
Bull. So it was obviously like a Red Bull event, I think, and then a bunch of you other guys were there as well to round out the show. But I mean, that's a huge flat spin right there, Cliff. That's looking at like 8-9 feet, maybe 10. I'd say it's
Gorgeous.
just huge.
Yeah, that's massive.
Yeah.
No one could do it like that. The way he
Yeah,
did
Cliff
it.
and Herm.
It's such a specific style of doing it. Yeah, no one could match that amplitude. You know what I mean? The crowds used to love that. Like, you could do the most
crowds go wild.
technical grind or whatever. No one gives a shit.
They're trying to see a backflip, bro.
Do a backflip and the crowd screaming, But yeah, I remember this is actually the show where I think Herman and I were living in Rosebank in that little flat, and we met Jackie and Stacy and a few girls who went to the school there at Sun City. Yeah.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
And here's another shot of Herman from the same demo. You can see how huge that speed ramp was. And so Herman went from the launch box over this fence, which is not close. Like that's a huge,
That's like
huge sideways gap to clear.
2.5, maybe 2.5 meters to clear.
Yeah. And dangerous. I mean, if you fuck that up, you're going to be
And
hurt.
just
Yeah.
to add
So
to the
cool.
danger, nothing but a pair of little shorts.
Summertime, baby. Summertime. Living's easy.
Youth. Eh? Not going to find us doing that kind of stuff now.
I remember, bro. I tried this a few times. I think I got over it one
You
evening,
did.
actually.
You did.
Yeah.
I even think
There
you
was
even
a
landed
photo.
it once.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd grazed up my whole lower back because I was also trying to be cool and skate without a shirt on. And I remember the ride home from Sun City, I couldn't lean against the back of the car
Sticking to the seat.
because my whole lower back was just roasties. So I had to like sit forward for the drive. Anyway,
Fluid boy.
Ow.
that's an episode on its own.
The stigmata. That's so sick, Herm.
Yeah.
All right, shout out, Gaz. We got the multi-image display here. So yeah, as we've
Love that photo.
referred to a few times, our friend Gaz, my good friend, passed away in 2001 in a motorbike accident. In the prime of his life, he was about to finish matric, and rest his soul. He's doing his classic trick was a mistrial, which is bombing in this picture, and always smiling, and what a homie.
He really started coming into his own, hey?
Yeah.
Like really, he was always kind of like playing catch up, and then when he really started, like, I don't know, growing. Man, that was
coming out of his shell.
That was just, that was a huge loss, eh?
Yeah, massive.
Yeah, as you say, it started to get more comfortable in his own style, and just doing that. And I remember shortly before he passed, we had all gone to Woodstock together. Do you remember Woodstock 2001?
No, go for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, we were all camping out there, and we were also doing some of the rollerblading demos and a lot of the b-boying stuff. I remember Ramon was there. Shout out Ram One.
Shorty Blitz was there.
DJ Hammer.
Was that the one at that Aventura resort?
Yeah.
That was the first one we went to. Huh?
I think so.
Yeah.
Where we gapped off the roof, and other oaks were gapping into the skate park. Like,
I think that was a couple later. That was like 1 or 2 later.
oh,
It might have been the same, because I remember Gaza tried that roof gap. He did.
I did a bio off the roof into the skate park.
Oh, yes, Frank did the bio. And I remember Claudio was also there. Claudio also tried that roof gap, but he
knocked
stopped and
himself
fell
out.
back. Hit his head so bad. Oh, man.
That's actually another guy worth mentioning. He was fantastic.
Yeah,
In my eyes, there was one person that could give Cliff a run for his money, and that was Claudio. He was just exceptional. And also he died in a car accident, bro. What a shocker. So crap.
It's insane.
So sad, man. No.
Jesus, you got to be brave to drive the streets in South Africa, bro.
Fuck. Just...
Well, all over the world, bro. Everywhere there's people are dying in cars all over the world.
It's a little higher than a lot of places.
It's a little more lawless here, I think, like, as far as sticking to the rules. Like, no one's really watching. Don't worry, you'll get away with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember picking up your car one night. John.
Mine.
Yeah.
Which car?
The red Golf. Because you got pulled over. Drinking and driving.
Shit.
Before Uber.
Many years before Uber. Yeah. No, and we all did it. We all DUI'd.
We don't need to go down this road, boys.
Yeah.
Not just yet.
We're lucky we're here.
Exactly. We can count our lucky stars.
For sure.
Shout out, Gaz.
I just want to just add to, before we go on from Gaz, was it his 18th birthday?
Yeah.
Where...
Yes.
There's a photo of that. I don't know where it is. I think we passed it around in the WhatsApp group a few, probably months or years ago. I don't even know. But Byron, maybe you can tell us a bit about Gaz's 18th.
For sure. So his 18th party was during the day. We had gone to the German Beer Fest, and we were all there drinking beer together. And so we were celebrating his birthday, and we went back to his dad's house that night for his 18th birthday party. And shout out to Glenn Cartwright. Much love, and we miss you. But he had put on a party for Gaz, and he had arranged for Gigi, the most famous stripper in South Africa, probably, to come and give Gaz an 18th birthday party and make him a man. And she had stripped him down to his boxes and giving him a dance. All of us standing around, drinking, laughing our asses off. Yeah. And she had like a branding iron that wasn't really hot, but she put like lipstick on the branding iron and branded his ass with lipstick.
Oh wow, what a scene!
We were so So wasted.
Eyes popping out of their head.
Just laughing. And you're right, there are a couple of pictures that are in his diary that I got after Gaz had passed.
Okay.
And I had it for many years. I've given it to Matt to hold on to it for a while. Hopefully it's safe and sound there. And but you're right, we should definitely scan a couple of those pictures out just for the laughs there. And I've got some footage recently, not of that, but like of when Gaz and Matt and I were even younger than that, from like old High 8 tapes that I've got, and I've just been meaning to edit them and get them to Gaz's dad. And because it's the only video footage that we actually have from him besides the stuff in African Link from those days, like long before cell phone cameras were a thing. And so good memories. Those pictures are fucking hilarious from that party.
Good dude.
For sure. Can't believe it's been 23 years almost since he passed.
That's crazy. I think we painted I think it was your house there in Bryanston, B, that we painted those murals on after he passed.
Yeah, exactly that. So we had all gone to go get paint. And funny enough, my family had actually moved out of that house shortly before that, or maybe even at the end of the previous year. So we weren't actually still living there, but decided to go paint those walls in Bryanston, which was on a very main road. And there's some pictures of that floating around as well. Let's get those out on Facebook. And we were so lucky because we were busy spray painting, and my mom had popped by to come like hang out with us or just see what was going on. And that's when the cops pulled up and were like, "What are you guys doing painting these walls?" And my mom was like, "Nah, it's our place, and we've commissioned these guys to come paint this mural for their friend." And like, so it all worked out so perfectly. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to have lost friends so young, like Alex and Gaz.
Yeah.
Truly before they even got to experience being an adult and, all the things we've gone through in that meantime.
No, we definitely think of them all the time. And I always imagine like what they'd be doing with themselves now. And, big part of our crew.
I feel like Alex and Gaz would have been quite successful.
For sure.
Definitely, especially with the ladies.
Both of them, for sure. They just had the right outlooks, right personalities. Top guys.
Yeah, and they loved the ladies. I mean, Gaz was always trying to chat some of them up, or I don't know. He was a legend. But may his memory be a blessing to all of us, Alex as well. Everyone we've lost along the way. All right, so should we do one more while we're here? We'll end it on this one, I think. So after Gaz passed, I sort of took the initiative to want to put on a street competition, and we named it Keep It Roll. And we did free entry. I don't know where the prizes came from. The skate products and cash must have been donated by Mel and Brent or whoever was helping us out at the time, because I didn't have any money. And so I think we had recently seen sort of the street competitions becoming popular in the US. I forget what they were called.
IMYTA. I Match Your Trick Association. That was probably the biggest, I think.
There we go. And so on top of the skate park competitions, we had decided to start doing these street competitions. And I remember Matt winning the one down in Cape Town. I don't recall who won this one in Joburg, the first one we did. But
I don't remember either. Yeah. If anyone has any footage of that or any photos or any memories, please comment and let us know what happened at that contest. Apparently we were all there.
Can we see one more slide, please, B?
Say again?
Can we see one more slide?
Yeah, let's see it. All right, so that was the street competitions. And this was the following year in Cape Town, 2002 or 3. when we did. We did the first one in Joburg, and then we had a street comp in Cape Town the following year, and this was the second street comp we had down in Cape Town, which Tristan won that year. You can see him holding up
when he did
the
that
check there.
Huge handrail along the side of that building.
Yes.
Yeah.
That photo
That
we
drop,
do have.
that drop rail.
Yeah.
It was big,
Does anyone want to go through and name a few of the faces in there if they can recognize?
For sure. There's Steve Crick, Mac Larry. I see Anton.
Miyagi.
Yes.
Herman there. I see Martin.
Yeah.
Martin in
Matt
the
and
back.
Strax. Yes.
Anton. Did you say Anton?
Yeah. Strax was there with us. There's Matt, Nick, John. See
Nick,
all you guys
Frank.
there.
Toby. I think that's Ben Crick on the far right.
Yes.
Sitting, little dude.
Andrew
there's
Fasaki.
Andrew Fasaki, thank you.
Yeah.
And is that a Schmedel? Is that one of the Schmedels there?
Dude, and Nicholas Mutz. I think that's Nicholas Mudskipper, like in the beanie. Yeah, on the left, in between the two guys in black, wearing that beanie. I think that's Mudskipper.
Oh, there's Dylan. No, that's Dylan.
Is it? Is
Isn't
that
it?
Dylan? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, the photo resolution is tiny. But yeah, shout out to all the Cape Town crew. It was
a big
sick
turnout. Yeah.
If you're on this photo, please write a comment below and just tell us what you remember from this event.
And Red Bull again, it came through with some prize money. Damn. What did we do to you, Red Bull? What did we do that you
I think Mel
disappeared
or
so
Brent.
quickly?
I think Mel or Brent negotiated these prizes for us.
And Herman and Cliff had that relationship with them.
Yeah.
So remember, they gave us that combi the one year as well, but that's a whole nother story,
whole nother story. Which also leads us into roll one, because I can see I'm wearing one of the pre-prototype roll one shirts I had made there. And we had all started that, but as you say, a story for another time. I think we'll get into the roll one days, which were a bit after this, and maybe that makes it a good place to call this episode here. So yeah, a big thank you to everyone that watched, listened to the first episode, and made comments, liked and subscribed. Please help us out, share it with your friends. Let us know what memories you have, and send us any pictures or anything you have. You can find the website at packweight.com, PAKWEIGHT.com. Nick, thanks for joining us, my friend. Give us your final thoughts.
Having me. Nothing to say. Enjoyed it. Love speaking
Nick,
with you
what
guys.
did it mean to you to be into rollerblading back in these days that we just spoke about?
I think I've spoken to quite a few people saying that it was basically like living my dream. The lifestyle that we lived, the people we knew, all the things we did. I honestly don't think I could script a movie better than that, dude. Honestly. That being said, I do feel like I've always struggled to move on from there. So yeah, it's been a lot of like, oh, I wish life was the way it was, and things have changed. So it's definitely had an effect on me, both positive and negative. But I mean, I wouldn't trade any of it for anything. It's just great. I've got lifelong friends.
I think that's what I wanted to add. Like, the friendships that we made through rollerblading are my strongest friendships today. And here we are doing a podcast talking about exactly that. So yeah, I'm just super grateful for you dudes and the other dudes that aren't on the podcast, but you all know who you are. And yeah, shot, Nick. Thanks for sharing.
It's my pleasure, Jonathan.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for coming through, Nick. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and we're certainly going to get all of the guys. All of the guys are going to be on sooner or later. I hope they will step up to the plate and come chat some shit with us and go down memory lane. yeah, Nick, thanks so much for joining us. Your invite is always open. You can join anytime you like. We'll see if you feel like it next time. And
I didn't know this was a once-off thing.
No, it's not. It's
News to
ongoing.
me. We'll see if I make the grade. Let's see if I make the grade.
We'll let the audience
Absolutely.
decide.
And yeah,
That's cool.
and yeah, I definitely want to.
I was never the friendliest of all of us. That's for sure.
I think that's a lie, but I do think you have a point where like the nostalgia from that time is so strong that it's like trying to move past it, quote unquote, is not really a thing. It's like such an integral part of our lives that, as you say, we have these friends 20, almost 30 years later that we're like still chatting to each other all the time, and we'll be best friends until the day we die, I think. So yeah, I wanna say thank you to you guys, and that I truly love all of you. Shout out to all of our friends in the crew, and yeah, let's hear from Frank, and then we'll call it.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Linda Peters for watching our first podcast.
Thanks,
you very
Linda.
much. We appreciate your support. We always have, and we always will.
Yeah, she's been so supportive. I actually saw her yesterday with Garrett at Bronson's birthday, and she told me how much she enjoyed it and was asking when the next one's coming out. So this one's for you, Linda. Thank you for your support over the years, to our friends, Frank and Garrett and everyone from Rustenburg. Yeah, much love to all of you listening on whatever platform. I think most people are checking out on YouTube. If you watch on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, please click the button. It'll help us a lot. And leave us a comment. Tell Nick what you thought of his performance. And what am I doing?
Yeah, what am I doing? Really?
We're doing a podcast in our 40s, guys. We're killing it. All right.
Love you
All
guys.
right. Much love. Packweight.com.
Keys.
Peace.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Bye.